We are live once again. Thank you for being here. Hi, folks. Elaine Marolakos Edelson. And I am here on a beautiful day in Sedona. And we want to up your frequency. That's what we want to do today. So we're going to be talking about intuition, but not so much the psychic version of intuition. All right. So we're going to get into the foundation level of what happens when you start to use your intuition. So what is intuition? Really, it is the part of you that is the spirit, the whole energy. So before we even get started, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with astrologymojo.com. Want to help you get your mojo back. And we're going to be talking about intuition and upping your vibe and how you can increase that energy. And that energy is something that is prevalent in everything. Everything you touch, you put your energy on. Everything you are, you put into the world. This is how you up your vibe. And sometimes when you up your vibe, you get a little too sensitive and you actually dismiss your intuition. So we're going to do a fun little game today to help you determine some things. First, we want to talk about the main parts of your intuition are your clairvoyance, which is how you see, your clairaudience, which is how you hear, and your clairsentience, which is what you sense. And the sense can be smell or just a feeling that you have. And so that you see what it looks like. These are all French words. Clairvoyance is how you see intuitively. Clairaudience is how you hear intuitively. And clairsentience is how you sense something or smell something intuitively. Do you ever walk into a room and there are no flowers, yet you smell roses or cigar or your grandmother's perfume? So the parts of you, the parts of you that are intuiting are those three main parts, but yet you can have all three working for you. Now, I knew someone who said, and she liked to meditate and she loved to talk about intuition. And she said, yeah, I don't see things. Even when I dream, I only remember the essence of the dream. I don't see things, but I feel things. I will feel something in the room, or I will feel a presence or an energy. And that's how she would get her information. So that's what I want to talk about is how do you actually get your information when you're using your intuition? And your intuition is turned on all the time. You just may not be attuned to that. And in doing some exercises, you can help to up your vibe. And that's what we're going to do right now today. But let me go a little bit further when I talk about frequency. When people do tests to determine their psychic abilities, they what I did with my daughter is I would have and when she was younger and with her friends, and I would have a deck of playing cards, and I would just look at the card, and it would be either black or red, spade or hearts or something. And I would say, is it black or red? And they would look at me or the back of the card and they would guess. And we would do this repeatedly. And sometimes when they didn't guess it right and they didn't get the right answer, they'd be all bummed out. And I would say, okay, that's not the point. Here's what you want to focus on. And this is so key to really creating a much more richer life through your intuition. And so that you can make those fabulous decisions that you want to make in the future, or just be present to gather and download information from the cosmos, hi Kimberly, from different people. It's like the game when the phone rings. If you want to guess to see who's on the phone and you get it wrong, you go, darn, I didn't get it. Well, actually, you're skipping a step. And just hang on. And the step that you're skipping is, how are you getting your information? How are you retrieving your information? Do you see something? Do you hear something? Do you sense or smell something? And I think it's important that this exercise that we're going to do today, this fun little game that I used to do with my daughter and her friends, is going to help you to understand that your focus when increasing intuition is sometimes misguided or misplaced in trying to get something right. Like, you want to get it right. You want to get the right answer so that you can win the lottery and you can name those numbers, right? Or you can say, see, I knew they were going to call. I knew you were going to call. Or you pick up the phone and you go, well, of course, now in the age of, I date back to the rotary. So it was much more easier to do that exercise then, before cell phones, because now you know who's calling. You can see who's calling. Or before that was caller ID on digital phones. But so you can say to yourself, let me just get as present as possible and see what's happening. Where am I with something? And sometimes we get so overloaded and so crowded with data and details, and any kind of technology will alter your frequency. I want to show you what you look like. This is what you look like. This is you. This is you. This is the rainbow essence of you in a dark void of whatever. And also, this is you. So, oops, wrong one. This is you too. So as you develop your intuition, you can fine tune it. You can be sparkly and just, feel the essence of everything around you when you meet a person and you shake their hand. You can get their information. That's also called psychometry, when you can hold a person's information or get a person's information through something that they've been holding, like a pen or a computer. And I remember the first time I met my husband, Dean, and he was a stand-up comic at the time. And this was about 25 years ago, something like that. Anyway, he was very open-minded, and he was very fascinated with what I did. Hey, it's Misty. Hi. And he said, here. And he ran into his room. I was in the living room, and he ran into his bedroom, and he came out and he said, close your eyes. And I said, okay. And he put something in my hand, and using the energy called psychometry, when you read an energy of an object that is imbued with a person's vibe, I held it and I just burst out laughing. I just kept laughing, and I didn't know. And I opened it up, and there was a watch in my hand. And I said, why am I laughing about this watch? And he said, when I used to do stand-up in New York, that's the watch I would wear on stage. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I was just hearing and feeling the vibe of his comedy and people laughing. So psychometry is one version of determining information. But what we're going to do today is we're going to look at not just, are you getting it right? Because that's not the issue. Eventually you will, once you fine tune yourself and you get away from technology. And I urge you to do this exercise with your friends or family, and to do it in a way that is fun and it's away from technology. Because the clearer you are, the sooner you will pick up vibes from other people or the cosmos, or, you get a hit or a reading on something and you go, oh, I got to call my sister. And you call and you go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. I really need, so when you tune in, that's not something that's taught in school, right? But through my programs that I have, the Bodhi system is the intuitive mastery program. And also the exercises that I give my clients who are wanting to increase their intuition and up their vibe. And it's important that you look at, again, not getting it right, but determining how are you getting your information. That's what we want to know. Because once you know how you get your information, then you'll start to become aware of something. And awareness grows. Hi, Phyllis. Awareness grows when you're able to focus on something that is intangible. You sense it, you hear it, you feel it, you smell it, you see it in your mind, but it's not there in the room. And the intangibles sometimes can get muddied or clouded if you are dehydrated, number one, you are on medication, number two, or you are have too much technology in the room. Now, there are different devices. Actually, I'm going to see if I can get the cover off my phone to show you. I have this little tab on the back of my phone that helps to minimize the EMF output of frequency. This is going to be a tough one, and I might toss my phone inadvertently on the floor just by trying to get it out of its cover. And so when you reduce the electromagnetic frequency, and that means turn off your television, turn off your computer, and or get blue tech lenses where these are champagne color. And you can see, if I show you on a white background, you can see the champagne color. And they now they have they're clear lenses, but they show like a purpley kind of iridescent color, which is kind of cool on lenses, so that when you're working on a device, a tablet, if you're on your phone all day long, at a computer, this helps to reduce the EMF waves, which can be dangerous and can really cut into your what happens with EMF waves is that the communication between your cells is disrupted. And so I buy these little, and I forget what they're called, but they're these little tabs, and if you can see that on my phone, these little stickers that I put on all our technology. And I really do believe that they help to mitigate the output, the frequency, so that you're not so disrupted. Why are more and more people, especially younger people, traumatized? Why are they more anxious? Why are they having trouble focusing? Are there more labels for ADHD? Actually, it's the technology and the EMF waves, because they disrupt the communication between your cells. So turn off your phone. Stop watching TV an hour before you go to bed. Do not sleep with your phone in your room. And, make sure that your Wi-Fi is turned off at night. And this is going to help you up your vibe, your natural vibe. And if you can go to a place, I live in a place that is just serene and beautiful, and I make sure to get out onto the trail so that I can stop the chatter and the noise in my head, because all this frequency disrupts my communication between myself and the world, or myself and a client, or myself and my own intuition. So we're going to do a fun little exercise, and let me know if that makes sense to you. I want to show you again, if you joined us late, this is what you look like. We're talking about clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience, and how you can up your frequency and up your vibe. This is what you look like. You are filled with rainbow frequencies. And when you use a television, when you use a computer, when you use any kind of device or a gadget, it will disrupt the cells, and then it gets kind of fragmented, and you lose focus. And you lose that connection to spirit, which you are. This is also I did it again. This is also what you look like. You're filled with this lightness of being and this frequency that you can scoop up like, grains of sand that turn to, diamond dust. And that's what you are. I mean, all this the clarity that you can have when you get out of the intensity of life, or when you make sure that you're eating well and you're taking really good care of yourself and you're hydrated. This particular rainbow frequency comes in, so does then you can see more, you can hear more, you can sense, and you can smell more. And I think it's really important to look at your lifestyle so that you deal with your emotions, you deal with your body, and no matter what affliction you think you might have, you can't run because you've had knee replacement surgery, or you can't see very well, or you have macular degeneration. It's like whatever is going on in your body, care for your biology first. That's going to be really important. And when you care for your biology, then the cells, which make up your biology, start to heal. And once they heal, you can increase the level of your vibration, because we are body, mind, spirit, and you need to care for all three, or there's going to be a deficit and a deficiency. And then you go into a place of victim mode, like, I don't have enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm too fat, I can't do it, I'm not great, whatever all the stuff is that you tell yourself that's not true. But anyway, so here's how we're going to up our frequency. I'm going to show you some colors, 2 colors, in fact. Who wants to play? Who wants to play the game? I do. I used to do this with Aaliyah and her friends when they would come over, and it was so fun. And I would do it with a deck of cards, and I'd hold up a card, and it was facing me, and I would do the red or black on a deck of playing cards, and I would say, am I looking at red or am I looking at blue? Or black, I'm sorry. Am I looking at red or am I looking at black? And I would have them focus on the card or focus on me, because I would be sending the information to them. And so we can do this via internet. It's the same. Energy knows no boundaries. Energy knows 0 boundaries. So you're still going to be able to do this exercise. And it's really fun. Okay, so here's a color. I'm going to show you. There's red, right? And there's blue. And what I'm going to do is just have you focus on the red and focus on the blue. Now, in my hand, and I'm going to just take those off for now. In my hand, I made a little card for myself. I have red and blue, and I'm only going to be looking at one or the other. And as I do, I'm going to send it to you. And remember, it's not so much, do I get it right? Oh, I guessed right. Yeah, I guessed red. Okay, great if you do. But if not, that's not the point. The whole point is, how are you getting your information? Remember, clairvoyance is being able to see with your mind something that's not in the room. Clairaudience is being able to hear something that's not in the room. And clairsentience is being able to sense or smell something that's not in the room. And so when you can determine, and you may have a combination of these things. I have all 3, and that's why I do this for a living. You may have a combination, or maybe you just have one and it's stronger. It's one of your stronger senses. So the 6th sense is actually broken down into 3 parts. But we're not taught that in school. I want to teach it to you now if you don't already know it. And so let's do this exercise. Even if you're watching this in a replay, you can still do this exercise. Okay, so I'm going to show you these colors again. Here's the red, because now I'm showing your mind the 2 possibilities so we can narrow down the focus. So there's the red and there's the blue. All right? 2 colors, red and blue. So I am going to be looking at one of these 2 colors right now, and I'm going to look at it for 10 seconds, and I want you to focus on being as clear and calm as possible. You're not thinking about red, you're not thinking about blue. And as I focus, you might start to feel, antsy, because you're moving different parts of your energy, or you might start to actually see different colors that have nothing to do with red or blue. You might see purple, or you might see green or yellow, or you might see a cat, or you might think of rain. So you're going to start to filter through all the data and the caca that's in your head. And eventually, when you train yourself to do this, I urge you to watch this replay and do it again and again and again, and then do it with your friends at home or your family. So, okay, so here we go. I am going to focus on either red or blue, and I'm going to do that for 10 seconds, starting now. Which one am I looking at? I want you to get calm, take a deep breath. I'm only looking at one color right now. Okay, so would anyone like to comment in the section? Not so much, you can write which color came to you, if any color came to you at all, and maybe it didn't. This is the first time that you're doing this. It's going to be scrambled and jumbled and, all over the place. But does anybody want to write in the comment section perhaps how they might have felt the information coming to them? Did they see something in their mind? Were they hearing something? Or perhaps were you feeling or sensing something? You might have smelt a red rose instead of actually seeing a color in your mind. So if anybody wants to comment, let me know while I take a sip of my drink. No one? I know we are on a 10-second delay, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's about how you get your information. How are you getting your information? So that's what we're talking about. Okay, so I was in fact looking at the red color, and I was sending it through my mind out into the universe. And to anyone watching this, you felt something. Okay, so Phyllis felt something instead of actually saw something or heard something or smelt something. So that's feeling something is called clairsentience. Isn't that cool? When you sense something, inverted color at first, says Joanne. And okay, so and that's cool too, because your mind will play tricks because of what your eyes think that they see. This is part of weeding through intuition. And it takes time to go over it and over it and over it and do this exercise again and again. Okay, so now I am going to do this exercise again. I want to show you the colors that I've been looking at. It's either red or blue, and I have them here. And, oops. Okay. So we're going to do this again. And now I'm going to leave the colors up on the screen. And when I look at my color, I want you to look at these two colors. As I'm sending you information, you might actually see something. Maybe the blue moves, or maybe the red moves, or maybe something gets bigger. Because a lot of times when I am giving a reading to someone, or when I am looking at something, it can be, I don't know, it can be a cup, it can be anything. Suddenly something will come in like really close into my vision. It'll just be like right in my face. And that's what I talk about. And that's what's relevant to them, because that's the energy that they're outputting, and that's what I pick up. So I'm going to focus on a color. And, okay, we're going to do it again just for 5 seconds. So focus on these two colors. And as I send you the color that I'm thinking of, I'm going to be saying the word in my mind. Is it red or blue? Is it blue or red? How are you getting the information? I'm repeating the word in my mind over and over and over again. Are you hearing it? Are you feeling it? Are you sensing it? Are you smelling it? And it's okay if you don't get any of this right now. If you're new to this, it's okay. Okay. Anybody want to give it a go and let me know what they just experienced when I was sending the word? I was sending the word and I was spelling the word. So you might have picked up a letter, or you might have picked up something that is meaningful to you. If someone really doesn't like the color blue, they might feel sick. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to start to train yourself. And let me take these down. You have to start to train yourself to see how are you getting your information. When people say, "Oh, I wanna be psychic," well, you already are intuitive. So it's not that you don't have this talent. You're born with the gift. You have it. Everyone does, because you are spirit first. Spirit first, folks. This is your frequency. I just love this picture. You're just filled with sparkles. You're just so lightness of being. Isn't it beautiful? And then sometimes you're also this very intense and very focused, and you've got a richness to you. So when you're looking at upping your vibe, it's important that and by the way, I was spelling the color red, and I was sending the color red again to people. And so if anyone saw something different, something move, it's because you're changing your focus. If you're not used to this, if you're not a practicing intuitive, and you're not someone who is more tuned in to their own frequency, then when you start to do these exercises, it really can throw you. And that's when people start to doubt themselves. That's why when I started this exercise with Aaliyah when she was maybe 10 years old, she's 19 now, I would hold up playing cards and just say red or black, red or black, red or black. and to her friends as well. And it was fun. It was, I made it fun so they wouldn't feel like, oh, I got it wrong, but it was, then they started to get that it's not about getting the right information at first. It's about determining, how does the information come to you? Are you seeing it in your mind? Are you hearing it? Are you sensing it? Do you smell it? And again, I was talking earlier about holding a vibration, picking up a vibration through an object. It's called psychometry. And, when you're training your intuition, I think it's also important that you realize your biology needs to be in top shape. Because if it's not, you're not going to get incorrect. You're not going to get the correct information that you need. So if you're looking to, it's something simple. You're thinking, oh gosh, should I try this new, product? Is it going to be good for me? And you read the ingredients and you do all the intellectual stuff. And it might say, oh, it's organic and, it's grass fed and it's all this great stuff. But your body is saying, no, you need to trust your intuition. And maybe you won't ever know why, but to test it, you can buy that product, you can consume that product and say, everything on the label looked great. It was a great price, but I didn't feel good after I ate it. So your body already knew. Here's something really powerful to understand. Muscle testing is also a way to determine. That's when a person will hold out their arm, and there's a protocol that a person goes through when they're muscle testing someone to see if an object, a thing, or a concept is healthy for them. Now, when muscle testing first came into being about 25 years ago or so, or 20 years ago or so, some tests were done, and in a group. This was a group study. So facilitators went throughout the room to muscle test people to see, does the body go weak or does it stay strong? 2 apples were held up at the front of the stage. Now, unbeknownst to the group, one apple was organic and the other one had pesticides. And all they knew was that apples, came up. And so the facilitator said, if you are allergic to apples, just let me know and sit this one out. And no one was. Okay. If anyone ever choked on an apple, let me know, sit this one out. Because if you have an emotional connection to a thing and it was a negative thing, your body's going to test no anyway. Anyway, so everybody was good. They had no issues with apples, except they liked them. So the 2 apples were held up. But first, 1 apple. And everybody's arm went up and everybody went weak. They couldn't understand why. Nobody could hold their arm up. It's like when you do muscle testing, you hold your arm out and a facilitator will push your arm down just gently, just to see if you can resist it. And if it goes completely weak, it means the answer is no, or it is unhealthy, or it is in the negative column. And so what happened was then they held up the other apple, the healthy one, the organic one, and everybody's arm stayed strong. And so everyone was looking around going, what was that? What just happened? And then it was explained to them. Isn't that pretty cool that the bodies went weak when the pesticide-ridden apple was held up, and then they were muscle tested, and all the bodies went weak. So what does that tell you? It's like even a vibration that is held in a piece of fruit across the room can have an impact on you. So look around your space. Look around your desk, your room, your kitchen, your closets. All the things that create clutter stop you from upping your vibration. All the things in your pantry that are filled with chemical dyes, with a lot of sugar, with things that are not natural in nature, to the body. Sugar tastes great, yeah, but it's not always that great for you, right? So you want to look at these things and say, that's not healthy for me. It's muting or decreasing my vibration. And I'm not able to be as intuitive as I would like. So a lot of people think that, just to become intuitive means it's an exercise of training the mind. Because in the military, they use Reiki and they use remote viewing as well to get a picture of what is going on with the target, with the enemy. it's a completely different use for intuition, but they are trained to use their mind, and you can do that. But again, if your body is not up to par, if you are dehydrated, and everyone wakes up dehydrated every morning, please watch the replay so you can do this exercise and you can start to determine where is the energy coming into your body from. Is it into your mind? Clairvoyance. Here, let me just show this to you again. The clairs, I like to call them. Clairvoyance is being able to see with your mind. And sometimes you'll see pictures, or they might be strange images, or you might be getting information like words, spelling, or colors. And sometimes clairaudience is hearing, and you might hear someone talk to you or whisper in your ear, and you turn around and there's nobody there. What just happened? Or there's clairsentience. You're feeling it, or you smell it, like roses in the room, or I smell, grandma's perfume, that kind of thing. So you want to be tuning your body, mind, and spirit toward focusing on not so much, am I getting it right? That'll come later, but it's how am I getting my information? All right. This is a powerful exercise to do at home with your friends, your family, especially if you have children, because they are so much more open. Now get them away from the technology. 2 hours before bedtime, no more technology. And also, I buy these electromagnetic stickers that I got on Amazon, and I tested them with muscle testing with someone who didn't know what I was doing. So they came up pretty accurate. These little stickers that I put on my phone, I put on the Wi-Fi thing that we have in the living room. I put it on the back of my computers so that it reduces the EMF waves. Because remember, all the technology in this world is amazing, and it can do such wonders, and it's powerful. But at the same time, it can also disrupt the communication between your cells, and it decreases your intuition. And we want to help you up your vibe so you can make fantastic decisions, and you could feel really good about your choices in life. And, if you're driving down the road and you think, oh, the directions say turn right, my car genie says turn right, but something doesn't feel right, and I'm not going to make that turn. And then you find out later on there was a car accident on that street. So using your intuition, it's not a mutant. It's not like a TV show where you become a mutant. Or it's so funny, I'll show up at a gathering, a dinner party or something, and I'm introduced as, Elaine, and she does this. She's an intuitive, and she's an astrologer. And it's so funny how some people don't want anything to do with it or me, and they walk away because it scares them. And I totally understand. I'm not reading people. It's none of my business. I wouldn't walk into your front door unannounced or uninvited. I'm not going to read a person. It's too much energy. Why would I want to do that? So I live in this beautiful place just because of that. And so, and then other people will just come up to me and say, oh, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you feel about me? And I laugh, and I might, say something, whatever, amusing, and help them. But then I say to people, if I were a dentist and you met me at a party, would you open your mouth and say, I have this pain in the back of my nose? I think that's kind of funny. So you want to start to respect that you are intuitive. You just haven't trained it, perhaps, and that it's a very precious gift. And it's something that you came into this world with that you can use for yourself and for others to help, to serve with compassion. And thank you for being here. I will be back on Monday, and we're going to talk more about what the planets are doing. And remember, the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with our cosmos. Again, it's all about energy. And when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, it's reflected in the heavens. So, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. Hope you're having a fabulous day. And remember, staying present in the moment. When you're right here, you align body, mind, spirit. You are powerful. You are powerful. Use that powerful and put some humor into the world, put some compassion into the world, and you'll make this world a better place, because I'm feeling it too.